People are going to discover that it's not necessarily just a hidden gem that they want to come out to all the time, but they're going to find things and reasons to be able to come back again and again for different elevated reasons.
And what's been so cool about this journey with Alex, which is fairly new, our relationship is fairly new.
I was reading a stat the other day that Gen Z is consuming about 70% less than previous generations, which is a lot.
It's always been about one thing. It's creating spaces for people to feel welcome and cared for and to get what they need.
Sure did. That's exactly right. To go get some ice cream.
Yeah. And it's so exciting to be a part of.
It'll be amazing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest things I think we've learned.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you for being here. And without further ado, find your comfiest chair and pull up a seat right here on Around the Table with Vickie. I'm your co-host, Chris Runk, and this is her table. We're all just honored enough to sit around it. She's my mom. She's your host, Vickie Runk.
Hello, everybody. Wow. What an introduction. I always love to hear you make me more than what I really am.
You know, you got to pizzazz it up a little bit. So you got to keep it fresh. But man, Mom, I'm excited for today's show because we get to talk about really good food.
Locally, right here in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Which may be a little hard because we're filming around lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had anything to eat, so I have a feeling by the end of the show, we're going to have to go get some food. But we are so honored to have Alex Richardson from the art group join us on the show today. So thank you for being here, Alex.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
And just some past, he helped open Neighbor's Place and Outback and this little restaurant downtown called RA Bistro.
Which ended up being a big deal over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And what's been so cool about this journey with Alex, which is fairly new, our relationship is fairly new in the fact that we've joined our endeavors together here locally. And I feel like created a powerhouse. And I'm so excited about that. But let's talk a little bit about that. So, involved in RAs, one of the owners for 20 years.
15 for RA.
Okay, 15. And just circumstances that led you to pivot, which we talk a lot on this show, Christopher. We've talked about entrepreneurship and some of the hurdles and the barriers, and then there's victories and living in the fast lane, but you certainly have the both of the sides there that we have to go through as an entrepreneur. And our paths kind of crossed just at a juncture in your life.
Yeah.
So let's tell our public a little bit about that.
Well, ARC's nothing new. The group that I've had I've had the opportunity of being a part of a lot of really, really good restaurants over the years. And obviously the last one was RA Bistro in downtown Lynchburg. And I've been a Lynchburg native now for the last 25 years. Outback Steakhouse brought me here originally. I had the opportunity of moving away and coming back and going forth, and then with Neighbor's Place and all different kinds of things, and then being a part of so many different other restaurants and developing from a hospitality and service kind of thing, at this crossroads of my career and finishing everything up with RA Bistro, it was one of those things where it was at the perfect time and the perfect place to kind of an intersection of a career for me. So it wasn't something I was looking for. It wasn't something that, the last thing I wanted to do was go open up another restaurant or have another restaurant project. And it wasn't until I actually met with you and Brian and the whole family where I realized that the hospitality group that you guys are developing and have developed over the years is just amazing. To be here locally in Lynchburg and to know that our paths are intersecting at that point was just really, really not only cool, but it was a blessing at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do that.
And I don't believe there's any mistakes. I think God connects people in life for just the perfect time, and his timing is always perfect. And we all knew when we met that day that he had brought you into our lives and this portion of our business just on time.
Yeah.
And it's been fun to get to know you, but most of all, I want the general public to know, Christopher, that what he has developed and what his company has stood for all these years and the great success that they've had at Robin Alexander is now just kind of moved to what we call Tori Blue.
Yeah.
And so, let's talk a little bit about your vision for the restaurant. I know we've met together and shared some ideas, but ultimately I've looked at you and as the expert and said, you take us in the direction that you would have us go. And so let's tell our listeners and our viewers what they can expect. Like, what is Tori Blue?
Yeah. So, I mean, Tori Blue is one of those things now where it's a fun place for me to be a part of right now because it's not a matter about just inventing something new. It's kind of taking the bare bones of what was there
Mhm.
and building on not just something new about it, but how to take this to the next level and scale it in a way that's approachable.
Mhm.
That's something that what people are looking for and they want to here in Lynchburg. And I think that's the thing with having fun in doing what we're doing there is really cool. Knowing that the history of Tory Blue since its inception
Mhm.
was built around quality,
Mhm.
quality of food and quality of service from the very beginning. So one thing we didn't want to do is throw the baby out with the bathwater when we're trying to reimagine. A lot of people think about restarts or changing, and you don't want to just change everything. You kind of want to reimagine of what was there and then build on that.
Mhm.
And it had some really, really good bones. And that's the part there where when we started putting it together and developing that, what does that menu look like? And what would the food look like? And what would the service look like? And we want people to know about hospitality and service go hand in hand. And I think that's the part there too, where right now, everyone is really looking for not necessarily a fine dining experience, but fine dining quality
Mhm.
that's approachable. And I think that's something that we're trying to develop or reimagine what Tory Blue has is how do you take really, really good quality food, incredible people that believe in
Mhm.
hospitality and put that together in a place and having the backing of Runkin Pratt Hospitality, knowing what we're trying to do and develop that across the board is something that's just been really amazing to know that we've got the support to reimagine what we're doing with Tory Blue.
And that creates an experience in
Yeah.
all into itself. Christopher, let's talk to our listeners and viewers about how the weddings, all of our catering there at the hotel. This is inside Bella Vista Hotel right there on Candler's Mountain, 2900 Candler's Mountain. We're open for lunch and dinner now, 7 days a week, correct, Alex? Am I
Yes.
right in
Yep.
that?
Yep.
And it really is. A place to where you can come and get away from the hustle and bustle of larger restaurants that may have a waiting line, and we can take you right in. And it also is great for our guests that are traveling because if you choose to stay there at Bella Vista, you know you're going to have a restaurant that's there to cater to your lunch and your dinner needs. Sometimes we just don't want to go out. We've come in from a long trip and we just want to settle a little bit, and just going downstairs and having that available, I think, is fabulous. But talk about a little bit how the catering with the weddings, Christopher, and the hotel events, whether it be a larger corporate event or an individualized party that someone's renting the ballroom or the salons. Talk about how that falls in under Alex as well.
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the most, I think, exciting things that when you joined us, you're like, man, there's a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving pieces, and it's great for our clients. Like Mom, you mentioned, we're one of the few full service hotels in Lynchburg, and I do think that makes a big difference for when folks are trying to. I know we travel late. I know a lot of
Yes.
other people do as well. And when you come in at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, you still want to be able to grab a bite to eat. We're open downstairs, and all you
Mhm.
gotta do is come down there, you're gonna get a great experience, but, you're right. I mean, we that kitchen is huge
Mm.
there at the hotel, and, whenever we purchased the hotel, we knew that. We
Mhm.
knew it was a great opportunity there to take care of all of our needs, whether it's at, Bella Rose or West Manor or Ivy Hill Golf Course. We really do that's kind of our hub, our,
Mhm.
Yeah.
commissary kitchen, if you will. And, Alex, you can probably take this better than I can, honestly, from grabbing
Well,
your
I mean,
hands
that's
around it,
one of the
but
things, the words you just hit right there is a hub because Tory Blue isn't just a restaurant. It literally is a hub where we can make memorable experiences off of from multiple touch points.
Mhm.
And I think that's the part where it's really, really cool is that there's so many avenues to create those touch points in the community that they, from the people that are coming to see Lynchburg first and foremost, and they're staying at the hotel,
Mhm.
from entwined events where we're doing the weddings at all the different locations. But it gives us the ability to do so many different things that most restaurants can't do. It gives us the ability to pivot
Mhm.
and try different things that other restaurants can't do much quickly. In regards to that, it gives us access to so many different, like I said, using that terminology, touch points where people are it's at different levels are eating out. And that's something that I think is what we're trying to capitalize on right now with Tori Blue, is
Mhm.
what that even looks like
Mhm.
on those different multi-levels. And that's why we're open for lunch.
Mhm.
We went in there and we said, we can take advantage of that and do a really, really good weekend brunch, both Saturday and Sundays. And then if we can create that space where people can take advantage of not only the quality food, but the quality of the atmosphere and the different scopes of business services that the hotel offers. That's something that we want to coalesce
Hmm.
between them. Because if you come there as a large organization and you have a large banquet or a large meeting space, but you need to break off, that's just like what you just said. You don't have
Mhm.
to leave.
Mhm.
You literally have access to a high grade restaurant that can accommodate those small one-on-one business luncheons in terms of doing that. And then having the people that we have that it's one of the beauties of having business in Lynchburg for as long as I have is
Yeah.
I have contacts locally where we're attracting such amazing people in so many different levels of the restaurant, of Entwine, of what we're doing. That's the part that's really cool, both
Yeah.
in management and bartending. One of the a couple of the people are putting together a dry bar where we're trying to put a zero alcohol bar together with the same quality of not only options that a full bar would have. So we
Mhm.
have both of those things because you can look at that, and I think that's something that a lot of other restaurants aren't doing.
It's
Yeah.
also
Yeah,
something that's very trending right
yeah,
now,
yeah.
which is really neat to see. I've always said that most people, when they come to a restaurant, it's about connecting with each
Hmm.
other. And I also know that that is a form of intimacy that we share with each other when we sit down and break bread together.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a way for us to connect after a long day, just sharing stories at the table. And when you have a really good quality food, but then you couple that with great staff, it just makes you want to keep coming
Totally.
back. I know, and I will say that, Christopher, our family eats there, and so we wanna make sure that our experience that our customers are experiencing exactly what we are. So we're checking in regularly to make sure that everything that's being presented and sold there is exactly what we would want it to be, because we have traveled a lot,
Mm.
and
Oh, yeah.
your brother is a foodie.
He is.
And we're always checking in at different restaurants, different brands. And Alex, I want you to know here publicly that I'm so proud of what you are creating there and what you're presenting to the public. And I can't wait to see how the next 12 months even transpires even more. But we would love for you to write into VickieTalk.com with
Mm.
any suggestions or something you want to see on the menu. We can feature it as a monthly special, or we can do anything that you write in, we take into consideration because it's the community that we're serving as well. So VickieTalk.com will get you right into me to where I can pass it on to Alex. Maybe you got a family recipe or something you'd like to see us try.
Sure.
Who knows? It may be one of our best sellers one
Yeah.
day. But we do want to remind everybody that it's there for you. The price point, Alex, we have brought down
Mm.
from our previous year. We've put it more into something that we feel like everybody can afford, everybody can sit down and eat. We have a kids menu. The brunches are a great way to just give us a try and see what you think.
Yeah, definitely. We wanted familiar favorites that people crave, in terms of being able to eat out, that's not only just approachable, but it's what do people want to eat.
Mhm.
But we want to create a place that it's special enough to come out on that date night,
Mhm.
but it's affordable enough to come back out for business lunch or brunch, where we want that to be, the at a price point where it's not only affordable, but it's approachable and it's available
Mhm.
more than two to three times a week. So there's different options of coming out there, of being able to do that. And that's one of the reasons it being in a hotel, I thought would be really good to focus in on that brunch with the
Absolutely.
weekend brunch, because we can really go over the top on that, from the
Mhm.
Bloody Mary mimosa bar to all the specialty desserts that we're having, and just things of that nature. So that's one of the things where I think is going to go over really, really well for us at Tori Blue.
Well, Mama, you mentioned that dry bar. I was reading a stat the other day that Gen Z is consuming
Less.
about 70% less than the previous
Yeah.
generations, which is a lot, and
Mhm.
that was amazing to me. So I do think that the dry bar and having the atmosphere and the connectivity to your friends and being able
That's
to
the point.
it's
Exactly.
absolutely. So being able to have really great drinks, I'm excited to see what you come up with there.
Yeah.
But I would
We love
encourage.
a good mocktail. We're always on the hunt for a
Hmm.
good mocktail, so that'll be fun. Yeah.
It's one of those things where that's where I think a lot of them have taken the mocktails and they've kind of made it a subcategory where it's an afterthought.
Mhm.
Whereas by making that a priority, especially from all the different things that we can create behind the bar, all the different flavor profiles and different aspects of what we can do, and from a health benefit standpoint too. That's the other thing too.
Sure.
Pricing is there, but from the health benefit, we're all worried about what we're putting in our bodies. And I think that's the
Yeah.
standpoint of taking good quality products, using fresh beef or fresh hamburger and bringing in fish 2 or 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be a special occasion to eat those things.
Mhm.
I think that's the part where we're making it. That's why when I say approachable or accessible, is having that type of quality accessible all week long is important in all those different day parts.
So, Alex, I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dish?
That's hard to ask. That's like saying, what's your favorite word if you're an English teacher or something like that. There's a part of it where for me, I'm as simple as they come. A really good cheeseburger is something where you can't go wrong. Right now, when we're looking at the menu and we're building the menu out, the French toast is out of control. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just something that we've put together. I actually was in Kailua in Hawaii about 10 years ago visiting my family, and they all woke up late. And I wanted to go get breakfast, so I went down to Kailua Beach and I went into this little breakfast place. I had a line going out the door, and I'm like, "What's going on? It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and these guys are waiting to get seats so they can come back with their families." So they were getting
Mhm.
reservations, but they don't take online reservations or
Wow.
anything. So I went in there and they said, "You can go sit at the bar." So I went and I sat at the bar, and their bar is a diner
Mhm.
style bar. And the cook was back there, the chef was back there. I made friends, went back there, started making some poached eggs, and then we made this incredible French toast together. And so I'm a cook, that's
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
do. So it's one of those stories. And I left there with that French toast recipe, and I've been doing it in every restaurant since.
Well, Christopher, we've
And
not
it goes
tried
very
that,
well.
so we're
Yeah.
gonna have to
I
definitely
told you I
go
was
this
hungry. It just
weekend.
keeps getting
Yeah.
worse for
Yeah.
me.
I know. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the stories behind the recipes, the stories behind the food, is something we want to start featuring as well. So you'll see more of this on this show because we want our local restaurants, and we also have Corner Burger as
Sure.
well.
Yeah.
And we'll be putting a little bit of an element in that in the restaurant as well. So
Yep.
if you're listening to this radio show right now and you want to try a Corner Burger at Tori Blue, give us a couple weeks. I think you're going to be able to do that.
Yep.
And these are, again, our ideas and visions of Alex, and we're just so excited to share the excitement with everyone.
I want to say something about Corner Burger. I have no way of confirming this. I don't know where it came from, but I just saw it on X the other day, and it had top-ranked college football towns, and what was the best burger joint in that town. And so it was going through like Oregon and Alabama, and there was Liberty, and across from Liberty, it had Corner Burger beside
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
So that was
That
a
is pretty
really
cool.
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
I
But
mean, think about it. How many other places, people think about like Five Guys pressing
Mhm.
their French fries and making their French fries from scratch. That's one of the beauties of Corner Burger right now is we have that ability to do all of those things. It's not about just a chain of restaurants.
Right.
It's a small
That's
independent
right.
hamburger restaurant that's run in just a fantastic way. But the quality of the product and the ingredients there, hand cut fries,
Mhm.
Mhm.
to take the pressure in there and then do them right. That's the
Mhm.
hard part.
Yeah.
Anyone can
Yeah.
I've always said, you can make anything from scratch, but what are you scratching? There's a part of that where doing it the right way and making it happen is there. And I think that's the ability of already having that. So knowing that's already under the umbrella and in the mix of Runkin Pratt Hospitality was also a draw for me to partner as well. Is seeing that you guys already had a knack for quality, that it wasn't something that had to be invented.
Mhm.
Whether it be Tori Blue, Entwined Events, Corner
Mhm.
Burger,
Yeah.
these are things that already exist.
Yeah.
How do you fine tune those?
Fine tune
How
it.
do you
That's what
get
I was
that
gonna
going
say.
there?
Fine tuning
It's not,
it.
you don't have to recreate it. It's just something in terms of scaling it down and condensing that flavor that's
Mhm.
already there. As a chef, a lot of times it's just condensing that, you
Talk
know?
to us a little bit about the kitchen.
Wow, sure.
It's because it's pretty fabulous back
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Well, what's fabulous most about it is the ability to attract the people that I am right now,
Mhm.
that we are
Mhm.
as a corporation, and having a trifecta of different chefs doing different positions. So instead of having just one person that's been driven, and I know that's been the idea behind,
Mhm.
Tori Blue in the beginning,
Yes.
is we didn't want to just break that up, but we want to put an emphasis more on the food than the person. And that's a part where even me getting involved as long as I have now in the food business, as long as I've been in the hospitality business, it's people, and how do you create a place of being able to have access to that type of quality person?
Mhm.
So being able to attract the people that we have and have the chefs that we have in there that are taking such care on every dish. So it's one of those things where we can put that out on social media, we can draw it up, we can take really good pictures, but it's one of those things where when we're taking pictures of the everyday food, and our everyday food is what's going out on social media, that's what is special to me. Is
Mhm.
I don't want to make it special just on what it is, because a lot of other places can do that, especially this day and age where you can recreate anything.
Yeah.
You can deep fake anything in regards to being able to do that. Knowing that we can take really good quality product and in a quality facility and add that element of
Mhm.
incredible people to do their
Mhm.
jobs, it makes my job easy.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I'm
Yeah.
loving about this is there's a part of it where attracting those people and then keeping that and creating that culture of growth, that culture of wanting to be here. And that's that part where it's not a matter of just wanting to do this or having to do this. We all get to do this. We wake up every day and walk in there and go, man, this is something we get to
Mhm.
do. And that goes down from me at each one of the restaurants all the way down to
Mhm.
the lowest. And I think that's the part there where it's a we thing, that we get to do it. And that part is creating that. So
Mhm.
working with good quality product, working in a good quality atmosphere with really good quality people is one of the things that I think is going to set Tori Blue above and beyond a
Mhm.
lot of other restaurants. And knowing that a restaurant like that now exists in Lynchburg is the part that's going to be where people are going to discover that it's not necessarily just a hidden gem that they want to come out to all the time. I'm sorry, not just once in a while, but they're going to find things and reasons to be able to come back
Yeah.
again and again for different elevated
It's
reasons.
certainly a nice option for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Hey,
So
you heard it. I mean, we need help. We need people to discover us and
that's
come out
right.
yeah.
give us a try and share it on social media and get the word out there and
Right.
just have
We
an
actually
incredible
just gave away a
experience.
$100 gift card to a young man that was very bold on social media and gave his opinion about the food. And he had a few little people debating him on some old management, letting them know we have new management now. And I was so impressed by that young man and all he did for us on social media. We said, hey, come on in, we'll give you a $100 gift
That's
card. And
pretty
now he's
cool.
one of
Yeah,
our best
yeah.
customers.
So
So
we're watching.
we're watching and
Leave us some good
listening.
reviews. You
Yep.
know, you
Yeah.
may get contacted with a $100 gift card.
Yeah.
But
So
while we're talking about social media, we do want you to connect with us. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Tori Blue Restaurant, or check out ToriBlue.com to see all the great things on the menu and background on how the restaurant got started and interior design. So that'd be great if you come out and give us a visit.
well, and also, if you go into the restaurant and you're having your favorite dish, snap a picture of it, send it in to us, and we'll make sure that you get featured as well. One of the things I really want to make clear here again, this is Tori Blue Restaurant inside Bella Vista Hotel, but it's right on the left-hand side. So we have a private entrance into the restaurant, which we did intentionally, Christopher, for the renovation. And then we want to make sure that you know that Alex is also over all of taking care of our brides for entwined events and putting together a wonderful menu. If there's a bride out there that wants something special, Alex, then they meet with you and you get all of that going for them to make their day special. So we're catering at Bella Rose, we're catering at West Manor, we're catering at the golf courses, and of course inside the hotel as well. And so we want to let you know that he is the man behind all of that. We have our own special catering chefs and different people that specialize in the different
Yeah,
parts of what we do, Alex. So everybody's paying very intentional attention to what the needs of that particular part of the business is.
definitely. And taste, that's one of the things is everyone has a different aspect of what they think is it's not a matter of what's right or wrong or what I think.
Mm.
It's what's best for that event, what's best for that particular thing. So one of the beauties too of how we're making things is, and that's why I said earlier in terms of making things from scratch in this day and age, people tend to think that it's kind of hard to do that. It's actually easier to make some of those sauces to order.
Mhm.
And because of that, we can alter those menus. So why don't we have all the different menus of whether it be gluten-free or this or that, or in terms of dietary restrictions, mainly because a lot of our foods are prepared in-house and they're
Mhm.
fresh foods. We can alter those menus based on whatever your dietary restrictions might be. And I think that's the beauty of having people to know what they're doing, and teaching them and creating a culture in regards to that. And those are the parts where as we start putting these together, creating that, like I said, that culture of quality and that culture of inclusiveness to where all of us believe that same thing. One of the things that attracted to me to Runkin Pratt Hospitality was that it wasn't that it was already there. It's we share a lot of
Mhm.
these principles and beliefs to begin with.
Mhm.
And I think that's where it coalesces. So instead of coincidence, I think of convergence.
Yeah,
I
that's
think that
right.
this is a path that we've both been on at a different time, and it was at a perfect path, a perfect time, in a perfect place. Just like you said,
Mhm.
that we both knew that this was a great
Right.
partnership to come together because it's not something that we both needed. It's something that we both wanted and wished for, and
Right.
seeing that happen has been very, very
Well, and the
interesting for me.
expertise that you bring of knowing the community. You knew your customers and they're coming to see you now, and that relationship continues. And the same thing with us. We know our customers and we want to refer them to you to take good care of them. And they're certainly getting that. We hear it all over town. My husband got a text yesterday from someone that said, "Hey, we just went for lunch," and they took a small group of business
Mm.
leaders. And it's just so good to hear that they feel comfortable and they're comforted with comfort food at the
Yeah.
same time. And so I agree. Just God brought us together at the right
Oh,
time.
and
We're
we're so
so
proud. I mean, to
happy.
have
Yes.
Alex and have the top tier restaurants such as Neighbor's Place
Mhm.
and RA Bistro, and now having you on our team, like you said, a convergence of. I gotta believe it was ordained,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and we are so proud to have you on the team. I do want to touch. You touched on it briefly. I think it's a really big deal because we got. There's a lot of folks out there with gluten intolerance,
Mhm.
and they're always searching for a restaurant to eat at. And I know you mentioned that everything's made from scratch. You can sub in, some out. Um, you had gluten-free pasta, which was a huge deal with
Sure.
some friends that we had there.
And a gluten-free, dairy-free brownie that they just had such a wonderful time eating that night at the
Mm.
end of their meal because it's really hard to find.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, a lot of that just has to do with accessibility. Most restaurants 20, 25 years ago could always do that. It's only within the last 15, 10 years where you're subject to what the vendors and the suppliers want, mainly because you don't necessarily have chefs or cooks in your kitchen that can prepare food to order. So they're putting food together in such a way that they're it's kind of set up, this is how it has to be made. So to alter from that recipe is actually more work than
Mhm.
creating it for them. So we've kind of scaled back, and I'd love to say that I'm inventing this. No,
Mhm.
this is the way food has always been cooked. So it's no different than what most restaurants have always done. Most restaurants and most very successful restaurant chains and independents now really are scaling back and going back to the basics and making sure that it's much easier for us to alter our menu items than to constantly recreate new menu items
Mhm.
for fads.
Mhm.
And dietary restrictions aren't fads. These are real.
Sure.
So there's a part of that where it's not just preference. Preference is easy, to do that. I'm in the business, and that's one of the things where my journey in hospitality, it's always been about one thing. It's creating spaces for people to feel welcome and cared for and to get what they need. I enjoy cooking, but a lot of people enjoy cooking.
Mhm.
There's a part of that where you can cook at home. I enjoy cooking for people in such a way to see that light bulb go off,
Mhm.
to see that aha moment. And if their restrictions or their dietary preferences means that we can alter that by creating that Alfredo sauce or that Marsala sauce from scratch right there in the pan, we only might be making 10 orders that night. We can make that from scratch. So if someone wants to omit a certain thing, we can do that.
Mhm.
And if we can't, we can't. Then we talk to the guest. And I think that's the other part too, is creating an environment for my staff to feel like they can make those decisions and talk to the guest right there and then come back
Mhm.
and say, hey, this is what we're doing. I think that's the part there that the community is going to be very receptive of. is that we're bringing in top tier talent where people, like I said, get to do this and they enjoy the hospitality standpoint. And I think that's the part where too many times we get caught up in service as opposed to hospitality. You know, service is the product that we have. Hospitality is the way in which we serve that product, the way in which we deliver that product. It's the mechanism to give the product. So I think most restaurants, most places now are getting so caught up in the service aspect that they're forgetting about the hospitality part of it. And I think that's why we all do it. You know, that's why we go out to eat. We can stay home and eat. Why do we want to go out to eat, like what you said? And I think we have to create a place where people enjoy that. Not just enjoy a place to eat, but enjoy to work.
Love it.
And that's where it goes all into that.
Well, Alex, thank you for joining us on the show today. It's been an honor, and we're excited for the community to embrace Tori Blue, and we are open 7 days a week for lunch, dinner, and brunch on the weekends. So make sure you check us out. Mom, as always, you like to end each show with a quote, so the floor is yours.
Yes, thanks everybody for listening. And we really wanted you to know more about Tori Blue, the man behind Tori Blue. And we want you to come and visit us. Here we go. Your business will teach you things about yourself that therapy never could. How you handle pressure when everything's on the line. How you react when people doubt your vision. How you treat people when you have power. Entrepreneurship isn't just about building a company, it's conducting a real-time personality test that lasts for years. And that's very appropriate for today because we've been talking about our new journey in our secondary year of Tori Blue, and we want you to come and see us. Listen, folks, until next time, I'm Vickie, and we're all right here around the table.